Hi there, Sandra here from createinspain. Today's card is going to start off with a little bit of colouring. Now you may not be able to see it too well, but I have a design drawn on here in a sparkly Sakura pen. No colour, just sparkle. Looks quite pretty, but that's not how I intend it to stay. And I'm sorry if you can't see this too easily. I have to put my blind down at the moment because I get blinded by the sun. But I'm just going to add a little bit of colour to this with some various pens. Now I've got all sorts of things here and they're all water-based. So basically you can use pretty much anything. These I got from Lidl ages ago and they have a normal tip on one side and a brush tip on the other, so that's quite good. I have some Carioca ones, which are typically children's markers, and these have got two colours, one on each end. So we've got purple on one end and we have a bluey green on the other side. This is a koi colouring brush pen. Again, I believe I got this from Lidl, and these are brush tip watercolour markers. Yeah, I mean basically you can use whatever you like. Now ideally you will draw this with a alcohol pen, a permanent marker, which is maybe a light grey. I really didn't want the outlines to stand out. I wanted the colour to pop and not have much of an outline on it. But I didn't really have a lot of choice because I don't have anything in a light grey in the way of permanent marker. I do have water-based fine tip pens in a light grey, but I thought, well, there's not much difference to that because those are also going to sort of mix with whatever colour I put on, to having a sparkly one which might add a little bit of extra oomph. I don't know. If it doesn't show, that's fine by me, but if it does, I won't be that bothered. Okay, so here is the finished result. I admit this is not great watercolour, mostly because it isn't watercolour paper. You can't blend very easily on anything that isn't. And the reason this is not watercolour paper is because I forgot to make the rest of the card out of watercolour paper. And if you've ever looked at different shades of paper, you'll know that they're all different. White is snow white, creamy white, polar white, any kind of white, and they never match up between brands or types of paper, or very seldom. So this is not watercolour paper, it's just normal card and it's not designed for this. If you want to do a really good job of blending, you can use normal, cheap water, children's colouring felt tips, but you do have to do it on watercolour paper, okay? That's the only way to blend it easily. But this is for demonstration purposes, not a watercolour demonstration, just a card demonstration. So that is one piece. Now the other piece of my card is this, and you may be able to see what looks like green, yellowy green stuff on here. This is in fact glue. So what I did was I drew this design, and it's one from Pixabay. I drew it with a glue pen in my Juliet, and I now have some silver foil. So all being well, this glue is still tacky enough. So let's take this off. I've not really used much of this foil. Oh, that is lovely. Now I think that looks very nice, but I wanted to do a foil with colour, which was the reason why I have this part of the design. Having seen the ugliness of that colouring, I'm beginning to change my mind. I've put some glue on my frame and I'm just leaving that to dry. That is Zig two-way glue. Now I want to put this picture behind here. Yes, I am going to put it in spite of my thought that it probably shouldn't, but there's a reason for that, okay? To put it in here, because I've got a very, very small margin on this, I've put some tape on the back of it, just some masking tape. And what you do is you then work out where it needs to go, and you press it down there. And so that is now in place, and I can go to the other side of that and take this mat out of the way because my silicone mat tends to take things off of surfaces, and I'm just going to tape that down. So the next bit is to put the foil onto my frame. I'm going to put a little bit of glue around this edge, gently make sure it's in the correct position before pressing it down. Here is what the card looks like at the moment. I've put the front panel onto the base of the card, and yeah, if it wasn't for that painting there, I would be quite happy. I should have done it in the watercolour paper, and I didn't. And I didn't want to redo that. I didn't want to waste it. This is not something that I particularly like. Yeah, some people might say it's okay, but no, I'm too used to better watercolouring than that. So I'm not overly keen on that. What I've done is I have put some double-sided tape on the back of an insert. The insert is going to go within that frame, and then I have, again with my machine and a glue pen, I have done a sentiment. Now this is in a text which is a single line font. Now if you happen to have a membership to Creativefabrica, there are quite a few single line fonts in it, and if I remember I will tell you which one it is in the information below the video. I quite like this one. It's quite a simple font, but it's not completely plain, and being single line, it's excellent for using with a glue pen and using in that manner. This is the finished card, and I really love the look of it. It wasn't what I intended to do, but when I found I didn't like what I was going to end up with, I changed things up and made it even better. This is a reflective card that I've put in here, and it goes really well with the silver foil that I've done on the rest of it. Raising up this sentiment just a little bit just adds a bit of extra dimension and a little bit of extra luxury to it. I think it's come out so well now that I would be quite happy to give this to someone, which is more than I can say for the original idea. So for those who want to know how I designed this file in the first place, I'm just going to give you a quick view of how it's done. While I'm here, I'm just going to ungroup that, and I want to make this piece a little bit bigger, and then move it over and just check. Yeah, that I think is better, so I'm going to group that to keep it in place. Now the reason I just did this is because I realized that this frame here was too small to easily be put behind the hole here, because this is a hole in the front of the card, or the card front panel, shall we say. So I've got this sized more or less for a 10 by 5 by 14.8, i.e. an A6 card. You can resize it in Shortcuts a lot to whatever size you so wish. You just pick up everything in there and you go to Object, Transform, and then you do the scaling. And you can do it by percentage. So if you want it 5% bigger, you can put in 105 and so on and so forth. So you can apply it, make sure you keep proportions, apply to all pages if you have more than one page in your design, or you can apply individually to whatever it is that you're trying to change, okay? And then just click on apply and okay it. So I'm going to show you on page 2 how I actually did this bit. This is my original SVG that I imported from Pixabay. This has a line fill on it, which I don't actually want. So if I come over to my palette, you can see it doesn't have an outer stroke, but I want to have a pen color for that. And I want it to be purple, for example. But I don't want an inset color, so take that color out. Now, if you go to View and Zoom Selection, you will get a close-up view of what you've got. From this, you can break it apart. You can edit bits out if you so wish. I didn't want to edit any bits out. But if you want to get rid of any double lines or whatever, this is where you will go to do it. You can use the eraser. You can do what you like, because this is a vector. I've got double lines in there, but for the purpose that I wanted, that really doesn't matter. So what you would do then, let's just go back to View, Fit to Window. I would copy and paste this, so I already have a copy of it. I would make a shape that I want my window to be. And so for example, I could do that. Okay, this should be a black line just to avoid confusion. I don't want pen color. Just put in color, and that is black. All right. Now this needs to be on the front, so arrange, bring to front. And then when I select this, it should, under effects and knockout, when you preview, you can now see that I've got this as a different color. That's the bit I wanted to knock out of it. Click on OK. And now when I click on this bit, I just have to drag it away, you can see I have the space. So this is the bit now that I want to draw and colour in. And in order to do that, I also want to put a rectangle or a square around it. I can cut this down afterwards, but I do want to put that there. And then this bit here, I want to make sure that that is set to draw, and I want to set that bit there to draw as well. So when I go to the cutter and I click on draw, I need to uncheck the cut selection only because I haven't got anything selected. You will see the bits that I want to draw are there, and they will go under my drawing settings, which at the moment I've got set to a force of 15 and a speed of 10, which is what I find is fine for using a glue pen. If you put a heavy force on a glue pen, you are just going to flood the page with glue. You'll waste your glue. It will flood it. You'll just have to take it out and redo it. So a light force and you should be good to go. So that's how the file was designed. And the rest of it is pretty easy. Making a frame, just an offset of the rectangle. And yeah, that was all there was to it. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this video and that it will encourage you not to give up if something doesn't go quite according to plan. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Take care now.